Hello everyone, today is still 20th of July, now it's 20 past 2 middle of the day by Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my second update for a day in which I will share all the main news that Russian media reported in last couple of hours since my first update. And before I start, let me notice if I made this small media project of mine with several channels on YouTube, Rumble, Telegram, is completely subscriber funded, and I will be immensely grateful if you will consider to support my work with donations through PayPal or Boosty platforms, or by subscribing to my Patreon page, on which I have some extra content on regular basis for the community as my thank for support. And this extra content is not just about news and politics, but also about life in Russia in general. Some walk and talk videos around Dmitrov here or Moscow. Some reaction videos also. So I'm trying to make a Patreon page as interesting as I can, and of course I will continue to do so. Right now, our community is 145 members, and I really hope our community will reach 200 before end of this summer. Very ambitious, but it will be very helpful. It will be very helpful. And dear friends, I noticed that many members of our community, our bigger community, are a little confused. They might think that subscription to Patreon is like very expensive or something. It's just it starts from $5 a month, by the way, and then you will decide. You can subscribe for $5 or 10 or 20 or 50 or 100. It's all up to you, but it starts from $5 a month, which is like less than a pack of cigarette, right? So hopefully more and more members of our bigger community will decide to join us on Patreon. That will be very helpful, because Patreon provides me this additional information about funds that I can operate with during the months. Right now it's a little more than 1,300, which is great, of course, but don't really gives me opportunity to further develop this project. It's just about enough to ends to meet, thanks to donations also, by the way. I may don't have donations every day, but every other day members of our community donating also, and I'm immensely grateful to everybody for support. Without you, this project would not exist. So thank you all. And all the links, of course, all the links to PayPal, Boosty, to my Patreon page are under this video and under every other video in the description box and in the pinned comments. Okay, that's been said. Let's talk about news now, and we have RIA Novosti's report that according to latest update from Russian Defense Ministry about progress of Russian special military operation in during the previous 24 hours, air defense systems shut down 34 drones that were launched by Kyiv regime to strike deep inside Russian territory. Also, 2 ATACMS missiles, 2 long-range US-made ATACMS missiles, and 4 medium-range HIMARS MLRS missiles. Also, by the way, TASS news agency is reporting that Russian forces during the previous 24 hours destroyed the radar of their Patriot air defense system, US-made Patriot air defense systems, and the 2 launchers of this system, which is a big deal, because Kyiv regime clearly experiences difficulties with the air defense systems, and US or Pentagon promised Kyiv regime to help with this, and many NATO member states also, not just US. And we have Kommersant newspaper's report here, according to which Pentagon is struggling now to fulfill its promises to Kyiv regime, because they attempt to increase production of their missiles for air defense systems, for Patriot, for example, from 500 missile up to 750. Most likely would not be achieved because of some issues with spare parts. And for example, we have a Reuters report that company Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, for example, that were producing about 30 PAC-3 interceptor missiles of Patriot a year, was planning, as a result of cooperation with the Pentagon, to increase production up to 60, but Lockheed Martin, US partner of this Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, is unable to provide this assembling line with enough spare parts, especially warheads of these missiles. And similar situation is also in some other companies worldwide that are cooperating with US military industrial complex and the Pentagon. So therefore, probably Kiev regime will continue to experience difficulties with air defense systems more and more increasingly, and US and its allies will start experiencing shortages of air defense systems on their own, because after all, it's these batteries, these missiles, quite often are used for training purposes in different regions of this world, and US was selling Patriots, or forcing countries to buy Patriots as if they were hotcakes, kind of. And those countries need now more and more missiles to maintain these Patriot batteries in operational state. But I guess they're not gonna be able to do so because of the shortages of missiles, and which is good news for Russia, by the way. I don't know about Pentagon, but for Russia it is good news that US military industrial complex is unable to produce weapons in the quantities that they want. TASS news agency is reporting, and this news is also partially connected with the topic of air defense, because according to Ukrenergo, Ukraine's Ministry of Energy, basically, during the last night, energo facilities on Kiev-controlled territory were targeted in Poltava, Sumy, and Chernigov regions, and several energo facilities are out of order now as a result of explosions there, as a result of Russian drone and missile strikes, and Kiev regime was unable to repel this strike yet again, because they have shortages of air defense systems and interceptor missiles. And dear friends, when it comes to energo crisis in Ukraine, many of you probably already know that in different regions of Kiev-controlled territory, locals are beginning to protest now. They are demanding from Kiev regime to resolve issue of energo supply, to resolve some other issues, and it seems like more and more people are really fed up. More and more people are waking up from propaganda, or freeing themselves from the propaganda of the Kiev regime, and realizing that, well, something is not really going in a way that Kiev regime was telling us. And it's not just that, but also many people are starting now actively operate against the regime, and this is nowhere as clear as in Odessa region, for example, where almost on daily basis now locals are conducting sabotage operations. They are targeting, for example, goons of Kiev regime from so-called enlistment offices that are kidnapping people from their homes, from streets, from markets, and so on. And there are many instances, almost on daily basis, by the way, when locals are burning down vehicles of those goons of regime. And already we see several instances when people were using lethal force against them. And this situation will only continue, and people will and these protests of the people will only increase as time goes by. And if you remember, I said a couple of weeks ago that one should expect emergence of significant, maybe not super larger armored groups of the partisans in the Kiev-controlled territory, but small groups of well-armed partisans should become more and more active in upcoming weeks and months, not just in Odessa region, but in Nikolaev region, in Zaporozhye region, Dnipropetrovsk region, Kharkov region, Sumy, Chernigov regions, in Kiev itself, by the way. Because yet again, people are waking up little by little and realizing that they've just been sacrificed by Western ruling class for their own geopolitical agenda. And that's it. Anyways, let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that Defense Minister of Germany, Boris Pistorius, complained that Bundeswehr is not receiving enough funds. He's complaining on a regular basis, but this time, according to Tiger Spiegel media outlet, he increased his tension in his complaints and said that Bundeswehr needs more money, and he's talking about billions and billions, obviously. Bundeswehr needs more money because of this Russian threat. Because of the Russia. Of course, they're gonna use Russia, by the way. I mean, whatever is happening or not happening, it's always Russia. And unfortunately, there is no independent media in Germany, and therefore, no one will challenge Pistorius. No one will ask her what dangers you are talking about. What exactly? I mean, what data you have that Russia is planning to attack Germany? Do you have even single evidence for that? And if not, then why you are talking about Russia? Why you are not talking about money and weapons that were sent to Kiev regime? And therefore, Bundeswehr itself become weaker and weaker. But yet again, I mean, in absence of independent media, of course, no one gonna challenge Pistorius or Scholz or Baerbock or any of those so-called representatives of Germany. In reality, representatives of the Washington, of course, occupying regime. So yes, Pistorius is complaining, and just about a week ago, isn't it, I reported that Bundeswehr will receive at least 5 billion euro less for its annual budget than they were hoping for. And same time, by the way, in 2024, in Germany's budget, there was 8 billion euros allocated for Kiev regime, for military and financial aid of the Kiev regime, and next year 4 billion is allocated. So Berlin or Scholz's government has billions to allocate for Kiev regime, but has no money to fulfill demands of the Germany's own defense ministry. It's a quite strange situation, isn't it? Anyways, let's continue. TASS News Agency is reporting that according to a Ukrainian MP, Ukrainian member of parliament, or state rather, Yaroslav Zhelezniak, Zelensky in upcoming days will apply to state rather for prolongation of the martial law and mobilization. This prolongation has to happen every 3 months. And well, I'm not quite sure that Zelensky will be able to achieve prolongation this time, or most likely this is going to be last time when martial law is prolonged by Ukraine's state. Rather, it all depends on decision-making process in London and Washington when they plan to replace Zelensky. Because it is so obvious that decision already is made by Western ruling class to replace Zelensky with Zaluzhny, right? It's only a matter of time, and well, let's see if Washington decided that Zelensky has to be removed in next few months, then probably state rather, or parliament, so-called parliament of Ukraine will not prolong martial law. But if Washington and London are willing to give some more time, or to themselves, to organize this regime change in Ukraine, then probably martial law will be prolonged. Anyways, we will find out soon. RIA Novosti is also reporting about a very devastating development for at least one citizen of Germany, because in Belarus, Belarusian court sentenced to death, execution, a citizen of Germany, Rico Krieger, that's the name of this person, according to Reuters news agency. And because Belarusian side did not release any detailed information about this, German foreign ministry informed Reuters about it, some sources in German foreign ministry, and according to Reuters, Berlin is in close communication with Minsk, capital of Belarus, in regards to fate of this person who was fighting on behalf of Kiev regime in one of the neo-Nazi formations. He was captured eventually, and he ended up in Belarusian court, and he is sentenced now for mercenary activity to the death penalty, to the execution. Well, I don't know if he will be executed or not. Most likely, he will be exchanged or something, because I don't think government of Belarus really wants to execute anybody, really, even mercenaries. But yet again, government of Germany is in contact with the Minsk, and maybe some sort of exchange takes place, and Germany will release some Belarusian citizens, and Belarus will release this individual. What is his name? Rico Krieger. Although anything is possible, maybe he will be executed. Who knows? RT is reporting that US warns India against deepening Russia ties. Washington is seeking to convince New Delhi that deepening ties with Russia and China will create difficulties for US-India relations. National Security Advisor to the US President Jake Sullivan said on Friday, speaking at the 2024 Aspen Security Forum in Colorado, Sullivan said the US sees enormous opportunity on technology, economics, and statecraft and geopolitics of their wider Indo-Pacific region, and wants to deepening these relationships. Russia is getting closer and closer to China, and as the junior partner to China is not necessarily going to be great reliable friend to India in the future contingency or crisis, he said. It's something that we take into account as we have our strategic dialogue with India. Yeah, of course, divide and conquer, isn't it? That's the only strategy that Western ruling class knows. Divide and conquer. That's it. Although Jake Sullivan, as an immensely uneducated, stupid individual, of course, cannot know that relationships between Russia and India has decades and decades of history. Moscow played a crucial role in defending India in 1971, when US, by the way, sent its aircraft carriers to target India. Many people in US maybe don't know, but in 1971 it was, isn't it? US and a number of other NATO member states sent their forces to obliterate India. And who stopped them? Soviet Union. Soviet Union sent its fleet and give clear warning that even if one shot will be make towards India. Even if one aircraft take off from US aircraft carriers to target India, then well, that's it. That's a world war. And Moscow was so clear that Washington and the rest of their this anti-Indian coalition forces back off and run away. So maybe Sullivan has no idea about it. I mean, as I said, this stupid individual, I mean, I would not take him on work to, I don't know, man, clean the streets, for God's sake, man. This incompetent garbage is would not be able to even clean the streets. And he is a national security advisor for president. No wonder US is hated worldwide, by the way, for its crazy policies, because that kind of people are representing US, man. But it is what it is. When it comes to Russia-India relationships, there is no way Western ruling class gonna destroy these relationships. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. They can dream about it, but there is no way Moscow and New Delhi gonna distance themselves from each other. Exactly opposite will happen, because from economical, financial, technological, security point of view, cooperation between Moscow and India is a strategic one and priority for both capitals. And I mean, you only need to take a look at the map, by the way, and it's become quite clear straight away why this is. So this is Russia here, right? This is India, by the way. And between we have China, right? Not Central Asian republics, but China, and of course China is a partner for Russia, for India. Obviously, China is a member of all the organizations that are creating foundation for emerging multipolar world, like India and Russia also. But yet again, just take a look at the map, by the way. This is India here, this is Russia, this is China in between, and this is US, far away from this region, right? So from security standpoint or any other point of view, of course, for Moscow and New Delhi, close cooperation is a bigger priority than anything else. But yet again, these idiots in US government, by the way, uneducated, stupid bastards that probably never read a single book in their lives. They brought some diplomas from universities and they think they are clever or what? The fucking stupid, sorry for my French, but stupid bastards, man. Anyways, let's continue. RIA Novosti is reporting that well, unfortunately, Bangladesh, by the way, is experiencing very tense time. Unfortunately, disturbances are taking place in this country, and according to latest reports that I see, more than 100 people have been killed there. 100 protesters have been killed there. 300 policemen were wounded as a result of clashes between protesters and law enforcement officers. And the reasoning behind these protests is that some part of society demands quotas to be removed for veterans that fought for Bangladesh's independence in 1971 to fulfill positions in state institutions, while family members of the veterans are demanding these quotas to remain. Well, this is at least this is formal reason of this confrontation. Of course, Bangladesh gained independence in 1971 from Pakistan, and India was very supportive of Bangladesh to gain its independence, and therefore relationships between Bangladesh and India historically are very good since the creation of Bangladesh as an independent state. And rumors are, by the way, that US Secret Services most likely are behind this attempt, this destabilization process in Bangladesh, which is possible. US is trying to get involved there everywhere and to play this negative role to destabilize, divide, and destroy and control. Unfortunately, yes, Washington, US administration does this kind of stuff all over the world, and probably Bangladesh is no exception. Let's hope things will de-escalate. The situation will de-escalate, because very disturbing videos are circulating on internet, by the way, and brute force being used against protesters. People were killed, and some media is reporting that police is opening fire on the protesters with live munition, which will further increase casualty numbers among civilians. So very disturbing situation. Let's hope the escalation will take place soon. But yet again, if this is a CIA operation, by the way, I'm afraid they may further escalate situation, and there may be even provoke civil war in this country. RT is reporting that Florida man was arrested for Trump and Vance threats. Florida police have arrested a man who made public threats to kill Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump and his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. The move came after Trump survived the assassination attempt last week. Well, how stupid this individual who was arrested is, that he started openly threatening Trump and his running mate, especially after what happened a few days ago. But, well, there's plenty of crazy people worldwide, by the way. Plenty. And US Secret Service, of course, will be much more careful now when it comes to protection of the Trump after what happened in Pennsylvania. That was, isn't it? Like a few days ago. Let's continue. RT is also reporting that US Democrats ramp up pressure on Biden to quit election earlier. And by the way, at least 13 more Democrats in the US Congress have joined the voices calling on President Joe Biden to step aside from the race to be the party's nominee in 2024 presidential election. NBC News reported about this. Well, yesterday or day before yesterday, I also shared information on my in my update that according to some reports, Biden may announce this weekend, today or tomorrow, that he is withdrawing from presidential race. There are some indicators for this. Let's see what will happen. He is clearly not fit to play a role of the president. He was never fit for this role, really, and he definitely is not fit to continue play this role of president for another 4 years. It's just too clear. So probably he will leave this race, especially now when Democrat establishment is all against him, and this internal coup d'etat is happening inside the Democrats. RT is reporting that UK bankruptcies are spiking. The number of bankruptcy declarations in England and Wales reached their highest level in over a year last month, as soaring interest rates weigh on companies' budgets, because these soaring interest rates are putting additional pressure on companies and their budgets, according to a report by the UK's insolvency service on Friday. According to data, 2,361 companies went out of business last month, which is quite a lot, by the way. I mean, 2,361 companies went out of business just in last month. That is how many people lost their jobs. I mean, 17% surge compared to the same month last year. It was their highest number since May 2023 and joined the third highest on record going back to 2000. The report said so. Yes, we all know that economies, major economies in Europe like UK, Germany, France, they don't really feel well. All three leading economies in Europe are on the edge of recession. Some may even argue that economies are in a recession, just state institutions are manipulating with the data to hide this information from public. But the numbers speak volume, isn't it? 2,361 companies went bankrupt just in last month, which is quite a lot. And unfortunate, by the way, because most likely we are talking about family owned businesses, ordinary people like us that are trying to make a living. So it's a sad information, undoubtedly. But when you have such governments like UK does, or Germany, or France, I mean, what you expect, really? How economical situation gonna improve under crazy leadership? I don't know. And this is it for now. Relatively short update. I'm happy with that. Hopefully you will find it informative and interesting, and if so, please click that like button and leave some commentary. This is the only way, dear friends, the only way we can maybe influence this immensely aggressive YouTube's algorithm. As I mentioned in the beginning, first video was suppressed big time. Probably vast majority of members of our community did not receive notification and did not see my update in recommendations. I mean, maybe this video will do better with your help. So please click that like button, leave some commentary just about anything, and yes, this is it. If you want to support, dear friends, as I said in the beginning, all the links to my PayPal, Boosty, or Patreon page are under this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. Help me reach 200. Help us reach 200 on the Patreon, please. That will give me peace of mind for sure, because as you can understand, I'm also in the same situation that I just described while talking about UK. I'm trying ends to meet each other, trying to make a living, and this is full-time job, by the way. This is full-time job, and right now I'm still struggling to maintain this project, and I have not chance to transform this project into something bigger right now, but maybe sometime in the future, maybe. So therefore, hopefully I deserve your support. I hope so. And yes, on my part, I will try my best to be as useful for community as I possibly can. This is it for now, dear friends. This is it. Have a great day. Have a great, wonderful weekend, and take care. And see you tomorrow.